program and control. As a small biz pro, that's how we grow. Using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Hello, America and the world. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, Crystal, what's been going on? What's on your mind? What's bugging you?
Well, this was a tough week for us, Gilbert. It was a
Oh
tough week.
man.
First 2 days, couldn't even think straight. Didn't want to watch the television. Didn't want to talk to nobody. Had to put myself to bed on Tuesday night. I think I put myself to bed. I think I watched it Tuesday night until about 9:30. It's like I can't take no more. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed. So I went to bed. Then in the morning, I had to gingerly open up my phone to see if there was bad news. I didn't want to be shocked like the last time.
Like the last time,
I had to be careful how I opened up my phone. And every day has been like that.
You were careful to open up your phone and your email because you didn't know Putin was sitting there going, "Hey, welcome again."
Right. I was terrified as to what I was going to encounter. So therefore, I was just like, okay, let me open up one eye and let me see what we're dealing with today.
That is amazing. That's
It has
hilarious,
been.
man.
It's been a week. Thank God on Tuesday, I had consulting and classes. Consultant. I was consulting all day, and then I had a class at 6:00 with the New Women's Center. So I was teaching till about 8:30. So I was kind of out of the loop.
You didn't get to watch any of the coverage, the election coverage or anything, huh? You're busy.
Not Tuesday. Then on Wednesday it was different. But today I'm so much happier. We're close. We're so close. In fact, since I don't have my calendar, my countdown calendar, but I have something else for you. So watch this. You'll love it.
It was unbelievable how much ground he made. He had to be Buda Baker,
and he took him down. He took him down to Chinatown.
That is my favorite meme of all week long.
That is hilarious, man. That is hilarious, Crystal.
How was your experience with the election?
Well, I don't think mine was as bad. I was a little apprehensive, but I was braced for anything, man. I was like, hey, if Putin wants to intervene again and take control of us, then it is what it is. But it wasn't as bad for me. But I stayed up Tuesday night into Wednesday morning until probably 2:33 watching the results and no conclusions, and like you wake up next morning, no conclusions, the next day no conclusions.
Yeah, we might not have a conclusion to next week, but today. So you and I talked last night, and today we're going through the mathematics. And thank you. You helped me so much yesterday when you called me and was actually giving me the actual figures between the percentages, and I was able to breathe.
I didn't want you to get a heart attack, co-host. I needed you. I needed you, man.
You call me with some facts and figures and some numbers, and you're like, no, he's this far apart. No, they haven't taken that. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So Biden is leading all four states right now. So that's given that's given the other side a lot of hiccups, and and the Biden side is all smiling right now. They can't wait. They can't wait.
So the lawsuits have been interesting. So you got don't count. Let's see. Stop the count over here if he's winning,
Yeah.
and then keep the count over here if he's losing. So how you gonna have this going on right here?
And that's been so typical of his governance ever since he took office, because he's been so schizophrenic in his approach. It's like he's saying one thing over here and then he's saying another thing. It's not like he says one thing today and then tomorrow a different thing. In the same sentence, he says one thing and then at the end of the sentence the opposite. So it's so crazy, man.
It is super crazy. It's like we've been on some sort of crazy whirlwind.
Yeah.
That this is like the haunted house. I used to say that we were in the e-ride. Remember the e-tickets at Disneyland? No, we're in the haunted house right now, because this man, he a wacko.
Yeah, man. I am so glad that they served that eviction notice, man. Now the U.S. Marshals are gonna go take care of things. They're gonna remove him.
Well, that's gonna be quite and I find it quite interesting that some of the commentators are going, okay, so can he stay? What? No, he can't stay. Can he stay? and what Biden say? No, all trespassers will be kicked off the property.
Well, think of it this way: if you rent an apartment and you don't pay your rent, you get that 3-day notice to pay or quit, and you don't pay, then that's when you get that eviction notice. You still don't want to go, then they get the U.S. Marshal to get you out of there. So that's what's going on right now.
So you figure by January 20th, the U.S. Marshal gonna have to roll on up, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, I think he's gonna leave before that, man, because he already see that his little temper tantrums that he was throwing over the last 2 days. He saw that it's not working, because now some of his own little lackeys are coming out and saying, "Hey, man, that's not cool." So if enough of them say something, eventually he'll get his U-Haul and start packing up his stuff.
or not. Melania may be already at the airport, like, okay, this is a done deal. We gotta get out of town, man. But it's been an interesting week. This is probably the most exciting election that I've ever in. Even Obama's wasn't this. This is like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was a cliffhanger. It definitely was a cliffhanger. Yes. So now we got to start looking at. Now we got to start looking at what type of programs they have in store for small businesses. See how we can benefit from those programs, and start letting our voices be heard.
It's interesting. I don't know if you caught, and I don't think you did, but I have to send it over to you. So the briefing that I did, the business briefing that I did on Thursday, we talked about that. And we had someone from the Greenlining Institute to talk about where we need to go. So it's just not going to magically disappear. We have to become very strategic because one of the things, and we're going to talk about that with our guest today, one of the things that's going to happen is Trump spearheaded a cult of individuals that their racism has become extremely blatant and actually pretty dangerous for people of color. So, but that's not going to be pushed back into the hole they're going to be still rampant for at least for a little while. He may not be on that bully pulpit of the White House where he can come on that we're 24-hour coverage of him, but he's still going to be tweeting like a maniac until the New York district attorney or the AG comes after him. Then he'll be kind of busy. But in the meantime, we got people out there that it's going to be still pretty dangerous for people of color. So, but for us as Black people, we have to be very strategic now. So you're right. Yeah. We got to sit down and tackle what are the solutions to the problem and how do we make all these new wonderful politicians accountable for their action. We can't let another election come in or another grouping of politicians come in and we're not keeping them in line with our interests and not their interests, because that's what's been happening. They've been operating on their own agendas, not ours.
Right. And the thing about it is what we need to understand, and most of our small businesses need to understand, that the redlining and greenlining that occurred was back in 1934, and that was done by Eisenhower. That was a president who did that. It wasn't the tall people who instituted the redlining and greenlining. It was the government who did that. They made sure they pigeonhole us and put us in a category that they're saying you're not good enough. You can't get mortgages. You can't get loans. Your small business mean nothing to us. So don't even talk to us about it. If you want to go to school and college, we're not going to help you guys. You know, if you want to live somewhere, you live in the hood. You know, so they're the ones who came up with that and redlined us and put us in certain categories. So when we put our plan together and going and approaching this new government, we got to let them understand what our strategy is and how we're going to go about implementing this strategy, and make sure we let them know this is what's in it for us, this is what's in it for you, you know, and that's how we got to do it.
Yeah, I quite agree. And I also think that we have to, because I know that they sit in the background and they're going, okay, this is what they want. This is what we're going to give them. But we got to actually say, no, this is what we want. This is what we need for our community. This is what's going to move our needle. And we're going to keep you accountable because, you know, certain things like the proposition, was it 15, which was the affirmation, the reversal.
16. That was 16. Yeah.
So that didn't pass. So now we got to go back to the drawing board, because that's our businesses. That's how we increase the wealth in our businesses.
Yeah, that's how we tap into contract opportunities. We tap into procurement. We make sure that, you know, if funding is being awarded in certain communities, everybody gets a piece of that pie, you know?
Right, exactly. So we have our work ahead of us, but now we have to be very strategic about that work. And yesterday when I did the business briefing, the one thing that Deborah had said to us was that we have my takeaways were, we have to create a solidarity. We have to be consistent in our efforts. And we have to be focused on creating wealth in our community to close that wealth gap. And we have to keep our politicians in check and accountable to make sure that happens. And we need accountable. So here in the state of California, we have Maxine Waters, we have Karen Bass, and now we have Kamala. So we actually can put together our task force and we can go to them and say, hey, this is what we need. So this is our problem. This is what we need. We need you to take this and get policy made. That's what we need.
Yeah. And that's definitely what we got to do.
That's something that we have to. Yeah.
Yeah. No longer are we going to rely on them.
We can't rely on them. We can't give them carte blanche to do what they want, because they're not doing it for us.
That's right.
So that's it. So other than
Okay.
that, did you have anything else going on that was fun and exciting this week?
Well, I'm working on some projects. I'm teaching some classes for the CBEST program over at USC. So Professor Kimberly Rolfe, she hired me to teach some classes. So tomorrow
Mm.
I'm teaching a contract readiness class. Last week I did capability statement, and the week before that we did setting up your back office. So it's gonna be neat tomorrow. It's gonna be great. We're gonna find some contracts for them and show them how to apply for those contracts.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah.
All righty. So we're ready to get this show on the road for
Ready,
today.
ready as Freddy.
Okay, so we're going to bring in our first guest, Dr. Donna Buchanan. I don't know if you guys are related or not. but Miss Donna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
She tells me that we're related from another mother. So.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I just want to say I totally appreciate you. You talked about the classes that you are teaching over at USC, Gilbert.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
Met at the OmniWorks Urban League Accelerator class for businesses, and you were one of the outstanding presenters there.
Thank you.
And since I've become a customer of your SmallBizPro, and it has been indispensable. So I don't remember us figuring out if we were related, but I can tell you, I can tell you that you have it going on, and so I hope that we're related.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Thank you. And Miss Crystal, we met also through the Urban League. She's been a coach for me and has just provided resources and tools. And, I just really want to start by expressing my appreciation and my gratitude, not only on behalf of myself, but all of the entrepreneurs out there for the work that you two do, the commitment that you have, the level of commitment is unparalleled.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome so much.
You are so welcome. I appreciate that.
It's our joy to help small businesses elevate them to the next level.
Well, it's all about resources. It's all about capacity. At Crucial Shift Consulting, our motto is things change. I mean, things change.
Yeah.
And it's all about how do you increase your capacity to manage change so that you can seize opportunities, solve problems, and achieve your goals.
Right.
And it starts with those resources, but it also starts with knowing that in order to do something different, because change by definition requires you to do something different, right?
Yeah.
So in order to do something different, you have to think something different.
That is true.
You got to start with shifting that paradigm that you're operating from.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Help people make that shift so that you can meet the challenge of the day. And at the end of the day, that's why we're here together, to try to figure out how can we leverage this moment to get what we need and want to accomplish our goals in a way that is sustainable for us to be able to move forward in this country, because it has to be sustainable. You can come up with, you can respond and you can react, but if you don't have a plan and if you haven't built your capacity, it's not going to be sustainable.
That's true.
Right?
True.
Yeah. So Donna has over 20 years experience in helping create and implementing strategy for plans and changing management strategies and professional development programs. And I know in this day and age, that's what's really going to happen. We're going to have to really be succinct about making changes and not assuming changes are just going to happen on their own.
You know what? Matter of fact, we should already have a plan.
Yeah,
You know what?
exactly.
There's no reason why there is no plan. But I want to just say this: as I heard and saw, the Black Lives Matter movement out there, unrelenting and demanding change. And as time continued to go on, I began to get a little anxious about the fact that Black people, people of color, and honestly, I might lose my race card here. It's been threatened to be revoked. But there are a lot of white people too who recognize that we need change. And so as I listened and as I watched people of all races, of persuasions, kids, I saw little white kids out there with their signs, no justice, no peace.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, here we are in the moment. And how do we, number one, leverage the momentum?
Yeah.
Because I've not in my lifetime experienced this momentum.
Yeah.
And at the same time, how do we manage expectations such that people aren't just out willy-nilly demanding this and demanding that and expecting it to happen right now when the institutions and the people that we're demanding them from don't have the capacity to change that quickly.
Right.
So how do we not give up the fight? I'm not suggesting that at all. And how do we stay focused on the fight for social justice, but do it in a very strategic and methodic way? And so what I did, I sort of specialize in higher education change because I think, number one, that education has always been for people of color and Black people particularly, our way out. It's always been something that we have needed to do to make sure that we have the knowledge that we need to move forward. Doesn't mean that everybody has to go to college. I'm not saying all that.
Right.
I'm just saying that we have to make sure that our people, as every race, has equal access to the opportunities to educate themselves. So that's where my focus has been. And go ahead.
Well, if you go back to your original point that you were making, where you said there were little kids from other races and other groups in the Black Lives Matter movement, see, that is significant because they recognize that everyone needs to be involved in order to make this work. It's like a parent. It's like a parent having 5 kids, right?
Yes.
Having 5 kids. So you've got Black, Latino, Asian, white, and then other, right?
Yes.
And then you decide to suppress one of the 5 kids. You don't give them opportunities. You don't give them education. You don't send them to school. So eventually that one kid that's been suppressed and oppressed and everything like that, eventually is gonna start doing something.
They're gonna act out
in order to gain the recognition that they deserve. And then when the other 4 kids see that it's affecting them, then eventually they're gonna step up and start, say, hey mom, hey dad, what's going on here? How come little Harry is not getting some opportunities too? So that's really what this is all about.
But here's the challenge, Gilbert. Here's the challenge. And what I'm hearing and what was making me so nervous is that we're still, in general, operating from this paradigm that all white people are racist.
Right.
And not shifting to see that, wait a minute, wait a minute. There are people out here on the front line. There are people, the other siblings have stepped up for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so my thing is, leave no ally behind.
Exactly.
And what that means is we've got to shift We have to because I don't think we necessarily were prepared to be at this place where people are saying, okay, what you want? We're still mad.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what we want. That's why we don't have a plan, because we really were not prepared for this moment to be here. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
I think
little Harry's still acting up, even though they're throwing the resources. They saying, okay, we got you. We understand. We, you know, maybe we need to do something. Little Harry's still acting up. And I don't mean that to say anybody or any group in particular. I'm saying in general, we haven't shifted our paradigm to say, okay, I get it. Everybody is never going to get it.
That's true.
Everybody is never going to agree with me on anything. Yeah. There's always going to be a certain percentage of people who just see things differently. Yeah. We cannot spend our energy on the percentage over there when you've got a bigger percentage over here. Yeah. So my thing is, it's scary. I mean, because there are some extreme things happening. And I think if we're seeing what we see, we have no idea what else is going on. Right. On that extreme side. So that's something I'm not saying we shouldn't be concerned about. Yeah. What I'm saying is everybody has a piece of the truth, the Quakers say. So that means, what can I do? Yeah. Who can I work with? You know, Gilbert, you are at a different place. You have a different skill. You work with somebody else. Yeah. Crystal, you work with another. Maybe you're doing the planning. But the point is, we've got to get all of our skills together and all of our shifts going in the same direction. And that means, number one, acknowledging and admitting that we have never done this by ourselves. Right. Black people never did this by ourselves. No. You know, and we're not going to do it by ourselves moving forward. So I would suggest that we kind of back up a little bit and watch our language, watch how we're positioning these things. Because I'll tell you one thing, if I'm in a relationship with somebody or somebody doesn't like me and they've cursed me out and called me names, and then they want me to help them accomplish their goal, that ain't gonna happen probably. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No, that's not gonna happen that way.
It's not happen like that.
No, it's not gonna happen. But you know, Donna, one of the things I give Trump credit for a couple of things. He has opened the people, other people, white people's eyes, and what he's been doing of late. And also, education does play a big part, because even if you don't have your PhD or whatever, if you've gone away to school, you've been exposed to other people. You've been exposed to other cultures. You see the world through broader lenses. And I think the people that are Trump's followers are people that live in a very tiny world, and they only see their world, and anything outside of their world is very frightening. And so now,
can I say something about a shift? You know, that very well may be true. So this is what I'd like to ask of us. So where are our blind spots? Like, we can very easily identify where we think another paradigm's blind spots are. And we have to be very critical, self-critical of where our blind spots are. Because again, so if I say that Trump voters are this, that, or the other, it doesn't leave a whole lot of opportunity for a bridge.
So here's our blind spot, the way I see it. So you mentioned earlier that we've never worked in this environment before, which is true, because where we came from, we came from, it takes a village, right?
Yes.
So it takes a
Yes.
whole community to make
Yes.
things work, and we
Mhm.
understood that's how it was when we came back from
Yeah.
the motherland, right?
Yeah.
Takes a village. So that's what we've been expecting. So now we're here. We're not seeing that, giving that village an opportunity to reconstitute itself
Yes.
so we can
Yes.
work together.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
difficult because some organization want to work by themselves.
Yes.
They don't
Yes.
want to team up, form a
Yeah.
collaborative, and
Yeah.
that's what's holding a lot of us back.
And it's a lack of trust. I mean,
Yeah,
when you are treated badly, you don't know who your friend or who your foe is.
yeah,
You know, you don't. It's hard to trust people.
yeah,
It's hard, and we have to remember what happens with internalizing oppression.
yeah,
We have to remember what that does to us as
yeah,
well, and how that can prevent us from coming together in sometimes ways that we need to. But we're resilient people,
yeah.
and we're smart people, and
Right,
we've always,
right.
regardless of the challenge,
Yeah,
you know, we're pretty good at navigating. I'd say we're naturally pretty good at navigating change.
yeah.
We just figure out, you know, we're like water. You
Mhm.
just flow through the cracks, you turn into ice, you turn into rain. You know, that's what we get, I think, from our
Our
ancestors.
ancestors. I
But
agree.
what I'd like us to do is to figure out how to be more strategic
Yeah,
in utilizing it given the day that we're in. And I just want to give you an example that's just like kind of off the wall. The very first time I walked onto a putting green, I had never even played miniature golf. And I was walking and I saw this guy. The hole was at 12 o'clock on the clock. He was at 6 o'clock, and he hit the ball over to 9 o'clock. And I was like, phew, he doesn't know what he's doing either. I'm glad, you know, I don't have to be worried, right? As soon as I thought that, do you know that ball curved around and went into that hole, and my mouth was, I was just, my mouth dropped open, right? It's like, how on earth? And what I didn't see him do, and what I later understood that he had done, because I saw him next do it again, was he spent a lot of time figuring out how to read the green.
he had a
So he
strategy.
was walking around the ball. He got down on his knees. He was looking, you know, if there was a little leaf or a little pebble in the way, he knocked out the rock, got the obstacles out of the way. And then he took a little practice swing without hitting the ball, you know, just to, you know, get a sense of what the, you know, that's what we gotta do. You know, you gotta read the green. You gotta know what you're working with and against, and you gotta, you know, you just can't say, I want this to happen. I need to what. So I brought the and I know I'm running out a little time here, but I just want to say, so I brought the Black Lives Matter people together. I brought higher ed administrators. I brought the students together. I brought organizational change management agents like myself together. And I said, okay, what do you want? What do you want? Okay, well, you know, we want this, we want that. That's not specific enough. You know, you got to get real specific. What do you want? And then me and the change agents went to work. It's like, okay, you want that? You want that? Okay, this is how you approach it. This is how you do it. And so that's the kind of strategy I think we need. One last thing. By doing that, there was something that came up. Keith, can't think of his name, out at Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach, Claybrook. He, a professor there, and David from Black Lives Matter. Basically what they said, and it shifted my paradigm, is they said, look, what we're asking for will, number one, save higher ed. And number two, we're not asking for anything that's not already in their mission statements. Okay, so that shifts the burden in my mind. It's no longer, oh, I'm complaining, I'm whining. It's like, you already said this is what you believed in. We're just holding you accountable. Isn't that what you said at the beginning? Yeah, we're just holding you accountable.
Right.
You know, how can you blame us for holding you accountable? This is what you wrote. So shifting that paradigm, but you can't do that unless you talk to people and you understand what the problems are, what the challenges are, why they think, why do the Trump people who are staunch voters believe what they believe? That's what you got to know. Even if you don't agree with them, you have to understand that their perspective is valid. Because it's their perspective.
Right. Everybody's perspective.
It's because it's their perspective. What we need to understand is why. Because then when you understand why, you might be able to work. There could be some opportunity there. I can't promise you. But,
and like you say, some groups may not be workable. You may not be able to work with them.
Some are not. They're just not.
So by you identifying whether they're workable or not workable,
you
achieve an objective.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you so much, Donna. Well, and this is the way we have to be thinking. We have to be thinking strategic for the future. Yeah. We have to be definitely thinking accountability, and we have to know exactly what we want so that we can ask it using the right words.
Exactly.
And at the same time, respecting where everybody is in that's on the board, basically.
So Donna,
what everybody's needs are.
Just for the public who are listening and watching right now, what's your contact information, your phone number or email?
Yes, I'm at crucialshiftconsulting.com is my website. And DRB, that's Dr. B at crucialshiftconsulting.com is my email, 323-829-3789. And 323-829-3789. And we are here to help.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Miss Donna.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat so that they can reach out to you and get some organizational change going on.
Excellent. Right. Really appreciate it. All right, well, take good care and really appreciate what you do. Thank you for your help.
And you continue to use that SmallBizPro to shore up your back office.
I will. You know what? I have to say really quickly, I had to get my hands on some documents. I wasn't at my computer. I went, SmallBizPro, thank you. All right.
Well, you know, I'm gonna have to do a video testimonial of you.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. All right, take good care.
Thank you.
All right. We got a guest coming in. He's gonna wow us with some information about technology. I met this young man. We actually worked together with the Black Business Expo, and then again with the Black Writers on Tour. We were learning a new platform and teaching other people how to get on a virtual. What was it? It's Hopin. Yeah, and it's a virtual platform and bringing everybody up current to the technologies of the world. He's of the technology world, so he is part of his normal habitat. But most of us is not part of our normal habitat. So patience. Oh my God, he has the patience of Job. I thought I was patient. But he helps consultants and coaches and agencies owners increase their sales and profits using a trademarked patented program called the CAH, and he's going to tell us what that is, and he's going to tell us how he's helping bring us into the technology world and embrace it like it's ours. Welcome, Cliff and Pierre. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Gilbert. I'm excited. I love the fact that you guys are just moving along in this technology world, and we're live here, and this platform is new to me, so I get to learn as well.
That's
But yeah,
good.
Yeah,
the
we were actually in a studio. Um, and that's how we got started. We've been on the air for 4 years. And I told Gilbert there is no way we can stay off the air.
That's good.
So we can play around with Zoom, but I like the fact that you can have your own branding. And so I had to find something that gave us our own branding and that we could actually use and be able to recognize our people. And Zoom just couldn't do it. So I had to do some research. And this is what I came up with.
And Cliff, just so you know, Crystal is a technology ninja. She's
yeah,
phenomenal.
Wow.
I've
she,
seen it.
she,
I've seen
she,
that.
can, she can find stuff that ordinary people can't find technology wise.
So you have that search engine optimization in your you know how to find what you're looking for on those search
Right.
engines. And
It's in my DNA.
It's in our DNA, man. Hey, Cliff, I have one question for you before you get started. Do you know how to develop apps?
no,
Oh,
that's above my knowledge grade.
man. I was
I,
getting ready. I was getting ready to hire you, man.
I
Oh,
have the resources to develop the apps, but that's above like my yeah,
above
that's
your pay grade, huh?
But he could get that. He could get SmallBizPro out there to the world, so everybody in the entire world and know that it exists, right, Cliff?
Okay. Well, we'll definitely talk about that because that's where I'm at right now, man. I'm ready to do some big things at Small Biz Pro. So go ahead and tell the world about you, Cliff, what you do and how you can help all of us.
so my background is essentially in the digital marketing space, and that space encompasses so many different things. And the topic I believe we're covering today is just how marketing is more digital marketing. A digital marketing is more than a website. So people think that, oh, I create a website, now I'm done. People are just going to come to me and life is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And that is not the reality, you know. And the real reality is there's marketing and then there's sales. Just because I get you a bunch of leads, if you don't know how to close any of those leads,
Yeah,
that's still a problem and it falls onto the marketing agency.
right,
So
right.
digital marketing is more than just what people think of on the surface, and it's actually more of a long-term plan. So the CAH is basically our customer. It's the acronym that we created to position ourselves to let people know that we are different from everybody else and we love what we do. So it stands for customer acquisition hacks. So we have the hacks to help you get more customers, whether it's search engine optimization, whether it's social media marketing, whether it's consulting and looking at your back end and understanding your systems. There's so many different components of that marketing. And that customer acquisition hacks is basically how we kind of look at your business and how we help you kind of identify what's stopping you from getting those customers.
Sounds
So that's
great. Sounds great,
Because
man.
most people don't realize that they can make, well, in a certain population, that they can make money with their social media and their digital marketing, right? They just think that they're just informing you, but that nothing is supposed to come out of it. Maybe more followers, but they really truly don't understand that this is a way to increase your sales revenue.
And it's most people get caught into the marketing and not the sales. What's the offer? What do you sell? Why should I care?
Yeah.
That's it. So I help businesses get more customers to increase sales and profits. How I go about doing that is the services, but that's the offer. So want us to show you how to get more customers, want more leads for your business, just asking the question and framing it in a way where you can provide that deliverable. And once you understand how to make the offer, then everything else kind of comes together. Everybody just kind of gets caught into the fluff and not the core component of your sales. So it's just, are you tired of doing your bookkeeping? Well, my name is Crystal Mitchell. And I can help you do all your bookkeeping. Stop worrying about that pain and that problem, and give me a call today, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And not only can I help you, I can also train you on how to do it. So I will do it for you when you need to. I'll support you on how to do it, and it'll be done, and you won't have that stress anymore.
Man,
That's
you
the
sound
offer.
you sound like me when I'm teaching value proposition, man. That's exactly how I sound. I love that. I love that. That's good.
Once you're in
That's
that
good.
flow state, and then that's a 15-second video and that's an ad. Now,
Yeah.
if that ad doesn't work, you can just make another one.
Yeah. Now,
And
Cliff,
that's it.
how long have you been in business? Or how
Almost
long?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, almost 4 years. So
Okay.
when I got into the space, I was throwing a lot of things at the wall, hoping one would stick, thinking
Yeah.
that marketing was easy.
I think we all do that as entrepreneurs, you know, throw it all at the wall.
And hope one sticks. And then my main expertise, what I love the most is search engine optimization, which is helping businesses rank on Google.
Yeah.
I have a team that does the other things that I may not want to do,
Yeah.
because having a digital marketing agency, we still want to provide that service, but I have to also stay in my lane and
Yeah.
focus on running the agency, but not feeling like I have to be everything in the agency. In the beginning, that's where I got caught up, and like I was wasting a lot of time doing things that I didn't need to do.
Okay.
You know, if I need somebody to do a website, I get a website designer. If I need somebody to run some ads, I get a social media marketer. Search engine optimization, if I can do some of it, but I don't need to do all of it. I'm supposed to be running a business. So those are some of the challenges and some of the things that I had to face, and I had to just really understand that I'm the quarterback, but I don't necessarily need to run the whole play by myself. I just throw
So,
the ball to whoever needs to catch it.
That is excellent, because I tell you, most entrepreneurs feel that they have to run the whole, wear every hat, take hats off like this and this, instead of bringing someone into your creating your team. And Gilbert and I talk about this all the time, creating your team to help you execute in order to generate more revenue, as opposed to you trying to do everything. That is absolutely excellent, Cliff.
we all can't be Jamaicans with 15 jobs, man. Only some of us. Only some of us, right? So
Yeah,
so
exactly. Go
so
ahead.
Cliff, here's the deal. There are 4.1 million small businesses in the state of California. 244,000 small businesses in the county of Los Angeles. Okay? Those are my targets. That's where I'm trying to hit with my Small Biz Pro. So if you can make this thing happen, you got another client.
All right. What I would say is the first thing that is really important is they need to know who you are. If they don't know who you are, it's really hard for them to want to do business with you. So
That's right. So
building,
that's something you can do, right?
it's
Now,
making we want to make the offer right away and get straight to the sales. We don't really want
Okay.
to, everything else will come, but once you start making money, everything feels better.
All
And
right,
how
man.
on the offer.
Cliff, let me ask you. So when you're making that offer, and I assume we're doing this on social media or in our email marketing or however we actually communicate with our potential customers or clients, right? So is it better that it needs to be you, the person, as your spokesperson, or does video work? Does marketing work? What actually works to get a message that uh, in order for you to help close that sale?
The messaging is being clear on who it is that you're targeting and who it is that you're looking for. So like most people just have this concept of like, I want everybody. Even kind of what you just did, Gilbert, of like mentioning all of those small businesses.
Yeah.
If you kind of say, I want to work with minority owned businesses that
Yeah.
are generating less than $100,000 a year,
Yeah.
it's more specific
My
and it's
category
speaking
is
to that.
15. My category is up to 15 million. So 0 to
All
15
right.
million. That's it.
So, but what I would break that up though, because at the same time, like the guy that's making $1 million a year is not thinking of the same thing that the guy that's making $15 million a year.
Yeah, but you know what though? The reason we chose 15 million is because the state of California classifies small business as any business generating less than 15 million. So that's why we chose 15 million. Now
Which
you've got micro businesses as well. Now micro businesses are businesses who are generating up to 250,000. So I don't just want to target micro. I want to do micro and small business. So that's why we're doing 15 mil.
it's I completely understand that. So let me give you an example. Let's just say if you want to target all the pizza lovers,
Yeah.
right? All attention, all pizza lovers. Now compared to an ad that says attention, all glucose-free pizza lovers.
Yeah.
It's specific, and the person that loves glucose-free pizza is going to say, yes, that's me, or attention,
I,
all meat.
I I get you.
You can still go after all of them,
Yeah.
but you kind of buckets.
Yeah, well, when I do my marketing, though, my marketing is about women-owned business, minority business, disadvantaged businesses, and small businesses. Those 4 categories.
Was that the government certificates and all that good stuff?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I just got into
There
it.
you
Literally
go.
just submitted my PBE today and all that with the mass dot, and so
But
I know
but
what you're talking about. Go ahead.
but you know what? If I had my choice, Cliff, you know who my sweet spot would be, my target sweet spot? That would be women-owned businesses.
I
Because
agree with you
I
on that.
work better with them, but at the same time, they're a small percentage. So I got to look at the bigger piece of the pie too. You see what I mean?
I get it. I get it.
Because
That's
women-owned businesses only get 4% of government contracts. Only 7% of them get investment opportunities. You see what I mean? So even though we know that number, and that's a small number, my goal is to help build that number with them. So that's part of my challenge as well. You see what I mean?
Let's talk about that, Gilbert, because I was talking with Dr. Rosie about this the other day, Crystal, and
Uh-huh.
like they're being different because there's veteran-owned businesses, there's
Oh yeah.
women-owned
Oh
businesses, you
yeah.
have
Oh yeah.
minority-owned businesses,
Oh yeah.
but those all have their own language that they speak to, and try
Yeah.
to pull
Mm-hmm.
them all into one.
Yeah.
It minimizes your effectiveness because it's like, do you want this custom car or
Yeah.
do you want this general car?
And that's why when
Most
we do our marketing, we got to do different videos to access different
customize
markets.
it,
Yeah,
There you
customize it because
you have to customize. Because I even find out with accounting, with bookkeeping, even though we know every small business, micro business, solopreneur, all of them need to be able to track their revenue, right? But not all of them do track their
right,
revenue. And
right.
so I have to be able to, when I'm speaking, when I'm creating a workshop, I have to really specifically say who it is that I know will see the value in purchasing and paying for the workshop and spending the 3 to 4 weeks in order to execute that. It's not for everybody, and
Yeah,
I've been teaching and training those classes for the last 30 years.
that's
And
true.
for me, my sweet spot is this: if I have a caveat on the end of it, like I'll say, hey, I'm going to coach you because there's a grant on the other end, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something that
Exactly.
you need from me
Yeah,
in order to get to that grant.
yeah.
And that way, if there's a bite, so I usually only do training and workshops for QuickBooks and things like that at the end of the year because I know they're going to need to get their taxes done
Yeah,
in order to do it. Or earlier in this year with PPP, they couldn't apply for the PPP loan without the documents and they didn't have the programs in order to do it. So I was able to sell a program there. So I always try to attach mine to a
you gotta have that carrot, that little carrot. You gotta
I have a hook.
dangle in front of them.
like I love
So go ahead, go ahead.
search engine optimization, but if I just say all businesses that want to rank number one on Google, call me, it's too broad. But if I say if you own an e-commerce business and you want to drive more customers to your e-com store,
Yeah,
click. It's a more personal. Yes, I'm disqualifying some people,
yeah.
but the people that come are gonna love what I do, and it's gonna be more enjoyable experience for me as well. So
So
imagine if you have 1,000 or 10,000 women just lined up to work with you. Would
yeah,
that make
with that what?
Would
With
that
that
make
what?
you happy?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And you know why? You know why, Cliff? Because they pay. They pay on time. That's why I love them so much. They pay on time and they listen to my instructions. I love
so? But
So
imagine. Go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say, so each one of us, all of us have our own specific niches in our business world. So each one of our messages would be different, right? Like Dr. Donna's message has to be directed to organizations and
yeah,
educational institutions. So
yeah,
your message, and it has to be a little bit highbrow, especially on the educational side, right?
yeah,
She's got
yeah.
to be able to take it up there so that they can relate to the fact that she will understand what they're looking for. So that's like couple of messages, wouldn't you say, Cliff?
Dr. Buchanan.
It's really establishing your authority as well. So it's like my name is so-and-so. I've helped XYZ businesses. I've been doing this for X amount of time, and I'm looking to help somebody just like you, or I've done this for this type of business, and my next question for you is, are you next? So if I offered you this benefit without this frustration, would you take me up on that offer?
I like that ask that you have. I like it. Are you
That's
next? Are you
are
next?
you next?
Would you take me up on this? I
I
love
love
that.
that. We all should use that. We can all take that.
I love that. I love that.
No, and if the person says yes, I want that, then they kind of take the next step, and that's the goal of the ad, to make the person say yes, I want that, and they look into taking the next step.
Mhm.
Now, if there's anyone out there listening or watching this show, and you hear anything on this show that you wanna respond to, you wanna add your comment, please go ahead and type into the comment section, and our special guest on the show will be happy to help you. Our guest here is Mr. Cliff, and this man is a technical guru, so we can't wait
I
to
love
have
it.
him answer your questions.
But it's so important, and I think when people, they just assume, like, what our title is, that okay, I have my website, that's all I need. I'm going to just tell everybody to go over to my website. I'm not going to instruct them why they need to buy my products or my services. Just go over there. And then you're going like, well, it didn't work. My website didn't work. It's broken. I need a new one. I mean, how many times do you get that, Cliff? I need a new website. This one is not working.
It's like, hey, I clicked on the phone number and it doesn't even work.
So one of our special listeners, Veronica Springer, she said yes, she agrees with that, and she said yes, I am that business you're talking about, Gilbert, that woman-owned business, and she said Dr. Rosie is our modern-day Harriet Tubman.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. So Dr. Rosie's amping up her game. She stepped into the hair industry. And so we're going to have some major workshops. We're creating a collaborative, collective, I guess, that is going to really focus on us as Black people, really bringing the hair market back to our community, since we are the major consumer. We spend 95% of the revenue for that industry. So I'm working with Dr. Rosie in her Harriet Tubman way to bring that back.
I want to know what that means.
Dr. Rosie has declared herself to be the South LA mayor. And so she brings us together, and she yells and fusses at us, and she to make us do what we want.
She said, "You coming? You coming?"
So,
no turning back.
No turning back.
There is no turning back with Dr. Rosie.
That's great. That's great. So, Cliff, man, it sounds like you've done some great work in this space, and I really like that. That again, I definitely will be calling you. So tell me, Cliff, what is the phone number that people can call you at?
71502-5946. That is my personal cell phone number. I did not give you the company number. That is directly to me.
See, I love that. Man, the more I talk to this guy, the more I'm falling in love with him. That's exactly what I do with my clients. I give them my cell phone number. I don't have time to give them a toll-free number. I give them my cell phone number. So that number again is
781-502-5946. And my email is Cliff, CLIFF, @revenueboomers.com. And that's Cliff@revenueboomers.com. And we're actually going through like a rebranding phase where I didn't understand how to position myself, and I didn't understand that how I look is who I attract. So those small little things of like, if you go on my website, I don't have any pictures with my full suit and tie. So, I took a bunch of those this weekend, and now I'm like, I had the
And
full
so,
photo.
hey, Cliff,
because
it's all about marketing, Cliff. All about positioning.
So Cliff,
yeah,
how
your
you
look,
spell your last name? Sorry.
Pierre, Pierre.
Thank you, Crystal. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, your brand, and that's really what it becomes. Those of us that are solopreneurs, or even, if we have our business, is us, right?
Yeah.
People know who I am in the community. People now know who I am before I even walk into a room. It's like, oh yeah, I was waiting for you. Who are you? Branding yourself, and Donna, you, even if it's like, oh, that's the lady that does the shifting, whatever, the shifting. We need to talk to that lady.
So they're gonna call you Dr. Change or Dr.
Yeah. Look, just call me.
You have to have your Barbara Lindsay calls me the Pied Piper, so it follows me all throughout the community. So and Gilbert, he's Mr. Paramedic, a business paramedic.
Oh, I need a nickname. I'm gonna get me okay, all right.
A small business paramedic.
So what's your nickname?
I gotta be changed. I've got to come up with something. That's good. That's good.
So Cliff, what's your
maybe
nickname,
I gotta hire Cliff to help me come up with something.
I have 3 characters of myself that I created. There's Cliff the marketing guy, Cliff the consultant, Cliff the SEO Superman. So if you go on I'm dressed up in a Superman outfit. I got the super shoes on. But essentially what I wanted to do is I wanted to have that humor and attract people for my services.
For sure, man. I like the marketing guy. Cliff the marketing guy. I like that guy. Yeah, I like that guy.
Cliff the marketing guy. So when they think of Cliff, it's like, oh yeah, that's Cliff the marketing guy.
Yes.
So just so you know, Cliff, on my website, I have strategic partnering page. So businesses that complement my business, I usually put their websites up. Like Crystal's business is there. If you go to the BuchananGroup.net and go to that strategic marketing page, you will see her company there. So I'd like to put your company up there too, because I know many of my people are going to come in and they're going to want to know about marketing. So I just want them to go there, tap into it, see what you do, and reach out to you.
And I appreciate that. I'll definitely add you an added resource. Now I know who I need to go to send anybody that needs a small business consultant, especially the woman. I want to get government contracts. I call Gilbert.
Especially women, because they get the short end of the stick all the time. No one is there for them. No one cares about them. I care for them. I'm there for them. I teach them everything. Ask Dr. Buchanan. She was there at my class. She saw what I did.
Absolutely.
I go the extra mile.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, it was interesting because, there were other people who were presenting at the same time, but we're all in, I'm going to call you Dr. Gill's class.
So there you go, Dr. Donna. Dr. Donna, the change agent.
There we go. I like that. Secret change agent.
So that's what we have to have, because people connect with you, and it is really, really true. People now connect Gilbert and I to this show. They connect. I'm being connected. In fact, the Thursday show is really like all of a sudden people are calling. So how do we make a change? How do we do something different? Like, well, wait a minute. All I'm doing is the show.
I love it.
Can you? I feel like I'm Harriet Tubman. Can you lead us there? All I'm doing is the show. I'm just bringing the people to you. I can't lead you to the promised land.
I love it, man. I love it.
So
that's leadership, though. Honest to goodness, and that's what we need, and that's the beauty. And I'm not just trying to blow smoke up your little heinies, but that's why you need leaders in your community. You need resources. You need people who are standing out, standing up, and doing what you do. And that, again, it just shows the need.
And the thing about it is, when you see a client out there, if that client is a client of Crystal, chances are that client is a client of mine as well.
Uh-huh.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
If they come to me and they need their bookkeeping, accounting, and anything accounting forensics done, I'm sending them to Crystal because she knows how to do DNA on those books. So that's what we do. Tag team.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to. And so we actually, I had someone on my Tuesday show yesterday. She was from and I'll share the video with you, Cliff and Dr. Donna. She talked about her company is called the Green Lining Institute, and she had made some very pointed assumptions for us or for us to make change. And so she was saying to do this. And Donna, I actually would like to introduce you to her and reach, because you two would be on and they do a lot of stuff. But one of the things that came out of it was she was saying small groups can make a big change
Absolutely.
in our community.
Absolutely.
So we're actually now going to create a roundtable with all of our community organizations and people that have tools to help guide us and lead us, because that's the one thing I think in our community that's missing is we don't have a Martin Luther King. We don't have we don't have anyone, Malcolm X, that we've had to help guide. We're just kind of floundering around. Like everybody's like, okay, let's, as Cliff said, we're just throwing some stuff up against the wall and hoping it sticks. I think we need to be a little bit more strategic.
We gotta be specific. Gotta be strategic.
Definitely.
And I'm afraid. You know what? It just makes me anxious that the momentum we're losing. We're losing time because you got to ride the wave. You can't be Johnny come lately and then got your plan, but people have moved on to something else. Things change.
And see,
it'll be a different conversation next week.
The Black Lives Matter movement, pretty much it start getting some substance run about May of this year. May. So that's run about when we should have started this, collaborative.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
We've lost a lot of valuable months in between.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So now we need to get ready and tighten our belts and make some things happen.
And perhaps it's going to be different from the way that it's been in the past with the big leaders. Maybe it's those small groups, community by community, that has to change depending on the needs of that community, because really that's what equity is. Equality is everybody gets the same thing. Equity is everybody gets what they need.
Right.
And so maybe that's really what needs to happen.
Right. That is so true.
Veronica, we are actually, I just sat down with had a conversation. Veronica's in our audience there. Thank you, Veronica. So we're going to all sit down and start talking about making some, being together, because we have to have solidarity. We can't have all of our organizations out there doing different components. We all have to be on the same page. And we all have to take big voices. And then we can go to Cliff, the marketing guy, and say, here's our message, Cliff, the marketing guy. Let's get it out there. Out there to be. So I definitely would like to invite you guys to the round table so we can start really being very strategic. Other people are very strategic about how they create wealth in their community. It's not something that is just pulled out of a hat. They actually sit down and they make a plan, and that's really where we are. And if we haven't gotten anything out of our roller coaster ride with the current president, with the past former president, that we should have gotten from him. The former president, because I'm with the president-elect right now, and that's behind my sign, my background there.
But see, that's a good point you're bringing up, Crystal, because we all talk about wealth, but what's our definition of wealth? We need to understand that, because if we're saying we want wealth, okay, to me, wealth might be measured one way, to somebody else it's measured another way. So we got to come to that common agreement on what wealth is, so
Yeah.
that we can
Yeah.
proceed.
And it's
Right.
not just about wealth. I mean, that's great. That's good. It's necessary, but not sufficient, as they say.
All right.
The other one is shifting the paradigm away from consumerism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the money, but if you're just going to spend it,
Yeah.
that may or may not be the direction that we want to be heading in.
And that's
So,
why we promote contracting over transactional business.
yes, yes,
Because
yes,
transactional business, you do a business with a client today or tomorrow, you're not sure if they're coming back after that. But with
yes, yes,
contracting, you get a
yes,
contract. That contract is good for a year, 3 years,
yes,
5 years.
yes,
So with
yes,
that, you can plan. You can hire
yes,
employees. You
yes,
can do your marketing with
yes,
Cliff.
yes,
To get that out there, and do your projections and
yes.
all of that stuff. So yeah, this planning is important.
Yeah, it's very important, and I think all of us that are on the same page now, and that's what my silver lining. I have a whole book of silver linings that came out of COVID, and one of those silver linings is that we get to do a redo right now.
Yes,
We have a reset
yes,
button,
reset.
and we can
Absolutely.
reset. Everybody's
Absolutely.
starting from the same place. Whether you're
Absolutely.
poor, whether you're rich,
Yes.
whether you
Yes.
whatever, we're all
Yes.
starting. So
Yes.
let's use this
Yes.
opportunity to really reset and move
Definitely.
forward. Like Cliff
Definitely.
going out and getting his pictures in his suit, so
Yes.
that
Yes. Yes.
bring
Yes.
some of the smoke.
Yes. Yes. We get to
Right
reinvent
now,
ourselves. We get to reinvent.
That's
And we
right.
get to reinvent everything. And a matter of fact, we have to,
Yeah.
because nothing is the same.
Yeah.
We're not the same. Our organizations aren't the same. Our customers aren't the same. Society isn't the same. We don't even know. We don't even know what it's going to be. So
No.
what we can do is try to proactively create,
Yeah.
Right.
what we want it to be. And
I mean, people,
think
we can't even
right.
create. I was on a call yesterday with Southern California Edison, and they're like, okay, we're not even, I think we're going to be back in our offices, physically in our offices in July.
Don't
Yeah.
even know.
I mean,
Yes.
it's a whole
Yes.
corporation, and they're like, we're going to, with July 4th or after July 4th, we're going to be back in our office. So that's a huge statement, right?
And matter of fact, you tell them to call me. They need some help with managing that change.
Right. Now, you're certified, right?
I'm sorry. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So they're sending me over, and I'm sure Gilbert can help you, where you sign up to, where you register, right? Gilbert is what's it called?
Are you registered with a supplier clearinghouse?
No.
Are you certified?
I am certified.
That's the certification they use. So you want to get certified with that. I mean, it's free. You can do it yourself. And then once you get certified with that, then you can approach them. But other than that, they're not going to talk to you unless you're certified.
Yeah,
that's the first
go through the
clearance. Which certification is this?
It's called a supplier clearinghouse.
Oh, another certificate. I must have about 20 certifications, but not that one. Huh?
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. Here's the deal, Donna. See, this is one of the things I teach small businesses. You don't, not because a certification is out there, you want to go get it. You want to find out, based on your plan, you want to know what certifications apply to what you're trying to do within your plan and can give you that boost. So if you're planning on going after Edison, or you're planning on going after Metro, just those, or the state of California, then those are the 3 certifications you want to focus on now, not all the other ones. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So Edison is a good one for you. So I would say you want to check out supply and that certification. This is another thing about certification. And I know this is not a certification program, but I want to.
We're small businesses, so it'll help.
I want to put this information out there. So some certifications have reciprocity with different agencies. So that means when you do a certification with Edison, that same certification work for the gas company. That same certification work for San Diego Energy and Gas. That certification work for PG&E. And it's primarily for the utilities. There are 26 or 28 different utilities out there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you get certified with that one, you're eligible to do business with those 28 different agencies. You see what I mean? That's what
And
I'm
Cliff,
talking
that would
about.
be a good one for you as well because of the fact that Edison, when the fires, when they have the fires, they have to get a message out that they're responsible. They're also big on safety. And
Yeah.
so you being able to help them position, and these are the kind of things that they contract out for. They don't really necessarily have that in-house for that.
Yeah.
And you have an outside outlook on marketing and digital, and trust me, Edison it's an older company, so they're not adept at tech at all.
They're a dinosaur.
Is that through the supplier clearinghouse certification? Or is that is
Yes.
the
Yeah, that
Yes.
certification you want to get because that will help you tremendously. Just
I was
remember this.
literally yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Cliff. Go ahead.
But I'm
Oh,
just
we're missing what you're saying. Say it again. Say it again.
I said I was literally gonna do that after this call. That was my next certification to finalize
Well,
today.
that will be a good use of your time to get that certification. It's not much information they ask for. If you have your back office, and I'm going to help you with it. I'm looking at you right now, and I'm kind of thinking you don't have your back office set up. So I'm going to work with you to get your back office set up so that all your documents are in one place, just like Donna, Dr.
Yes.
Donna Buchanan has hers, right?
Yeah, I literally went through that process just now, Gilbert, too. I was like, I need to
Okay.
get a box and put all this in one place.
Okay.
I was like, whoa.
Look, tech guy has a box. What's up with that? Tech guy, you gotta be a small biz pro because that don't
That tech guy has a box.
We gotta get you small biz
You gotta
pro,
get
man.
small biz pro.
Just filing. I need to get one of those.
Yeah. So Gilbert Small Biz Pro, he'll talk to you about it. It's actually an excellent program.
I'll set
Keeps
you up.
all your documents in one place, and it's especially if you're doing contracts and you need to have information at your fingertips every time you're filling out one of those certifications. So look at it, everybody coming up today. It's 4:16. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for being on the Business Zone. I'll send you over the video. You can edit it up, do whatever you want to do with it, to put it on your websites, and Cliff knows what to do with it. And and thank you guys. It's been
Thank
a
you
great
for
show.
having me. Really
It's
appreciate it.
entertaining.
We would love to have you guys stay after we go off the air because we want you guys to do a little testimonials for the Business Zone.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
so,
Sure.
so Crystal will do her thing, and then we'll sign out, and then we want to have
Excellent.
you guys do a little testimonial. Okay?
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Gilbert, we have been tuned into the Business Zone with Crystal.
And Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic.
And we've been happy to have you guys. We are here every Friday afternoon at 3:00. We stream live on Facebook and YouTube. Go over to our YouTube and subscribe. We need to increase our subscriptions. I don't even know why this is so hard. We're not charging you. Maybe we need to charge you.
Yeah, we should charge you.
That button and increase our subscribers. But tune in every Friday afternoon, and we will see you guys next week with our President-elect, President Biden, Kamala Harris. So we are excited about next Friday because we're going to be celebrating a new president. And then we're going to be watching the humor as we kick the other one out. So I challenge everyone to send me their favorite meme of this next coming week, and I will make sure that we air it on the show next week because I'm looking for those memes.
You mean the eviction meme?
The eviction meme. So we want you all to make sure that you reach out to us. Let me see. I want to post this before we close out the show. And Dr. Donna's
So you guys, if you need to get a hold of our guest, you've got Mr. Cliff Pereira, the marketing guy. His number is right there on the phone. His number is 781-502-5946. If you need the change, Dr. Donna, the change agent, her her information is up there too. So I want you guys to make sure you go there. I'm looking for your number, Dr. Donna.
323-829-3789.
All right, there you
323
go.
829
3789.
And
89.
she is with Crucial Shift Consulting.
Consulting.
So you guys really need to look at that change agent. We're pivoting right now, so we need a change
Pivot,
agent to
absolutely.
guide us.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
Right.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. It's been a great show. So we're gonna close on out with our
Our theme
outro,
song.
our theme song. So we'll see you guys next week. Bring a friend next time. Talk to you.
right.
See you guys. Have a good week. Be safe and mask up.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.